It's nice to just sit, isn't it? We ain't got time for that. Robot Wars is back on our screens, so let's review it. Right, I've decided how I want to do these reviews. I'm going to go through each robot, do best fight and worst fight of the 4 that got through to the head-to-heads, and then I'll do a little bit of for the people who fell short of the head-to-heads, and it'll be really sad. It'll be like na 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 na. I don't know. Anyway, so who are the 4 for episode 1? Number 1, Aftershock. Amazing robot. I really love their weapon, and I really like the science behind it. I've never really understood why vertical spinners do very well, because when I see them, I think, it's going to cut a little bit that way. It does a lot of damage, especially Aftershock. The weapon hits, and the force of the hit, the force of the impact, doesn't go into the robot sending it off flying. It goes into the arena floor, making it, I don't know, more versatile. It may bounce a little bit. It goes woo and back into it, which is an awesome design of robot, I think. But then there's always the problem of it possibly the centrifugal force is sending it, like, it acts as a propeller, sending it that way or that way, and that's when it's turning. But Aftershock apparently can only lift about 10 centimeters off the ground before gravity kicks in and goes, actually no, you can't do that, you're back on the ground. It is a very well made robot. Best fight for Aftershock, pick any of them, because they're all winning fights. Any fight with Aftershock in Aftershock 1. So best fight was probably, I'm going to say, the final of this episode, because that meant they go through to the grand final. So the final was their best. Their worst was probably their first one, where the weapon stopped working and they had a little bit of steam smoke coming out of it. So yeah, that was probably their worst fight. Second one was Sabretooth. Best fight was probably versus Terahertz, because they managed to do so much damage to Terahertz, and they did get some damage off of themselves, but they seemed in high spirits because they'd done so well in that fight. So that's Sabretooth's best one. I like the drum spinner. I think it was a fantastic robot, and my only criticism is that it doesn't run both ways up. It needs a self-righter, really, or they need to reduce the armour on the top. It was good armour for an axe, which was excellent because they went up against Terahertz, but not so much for running both ways up. So think about it in the future. And I couldn't believe that the hashtag pray for Gabe prayer works, because they prayed for Gabe and then it worked again. So pray for Gabe. Worst fight was against Aftershock, just because Aftershock just kept hitting them, just making sure that they were dead, and they clearly were. So yeah, they got ripped to shreds, which is where Pray for Gabe came in, and everything was happy again, but a little emotional. So yeah, we also had Terahertz. I've mentioned them, so might as well bring them up here. Terahertz was not on form. They claimed to have fixed the axe. They had not fixed the axe. The axe was still very much dead. I mean, it didn't work at all how they wanted it to. They even said, "Are you happy with the axe?" No, not at all. It's not firing properly, and it wasn't. It was sort of going. It was very stiff. So what did they do? They didn't sort of pull it apart, see what was going wrong. Nah, just squirt some lube in. You know, that's it. Go. And I must admit, it did sort of work, but it still wasn't firing right. Let's face it, it's not. They need to have a serious look at that axe, because that's the second series running where it's not done so well. Best fight was probably their opener, and they went through. Their worst, I don't know, possibly against either Aftershock or Sabretooth. I think their worst one was actually against Sabretooth, because that dealt the most damage to them. I would have said that their best fight was against Jellyfish one-on-one, but it was really slow, and he looked really disappointed, and he sounded really disappointed. Oh, they're not dead already? It's like, oh, we wanted a proper fight, which I like. So yeah. Number 4 was Rapid. Best fight for Rapid was their first fight. Worst fight for Rapid was when they were knocked out in the head-to-heads against Aftershock, which let Jellyfish back in. So Jellyfish best fight was probably against Sabretooth, when they they won by a judge's decision. I don't know how. I admire them for the sake that it's a robot. They didn't use CAD, which is computer aided design. They didn't use Hardox or any other special metals. They used plastics. They didn't use many power tools. I mean, it did relatively well for something that was just thrown together, really. Oh, it's a big yawn. Worst fight was when they were knocked out in round 1. Because they were knocked out in round 1. Rapid has potential. Most expensive robot in the competition. I did find it ironic that it was replaced by the cheapest robot in the competition. Just goes to show that what the team captain of Jellyfish said was true. Even the pawn can take down the king. So, yeah, well done to Jellyfish, even though you're, I don't know what you are. Unfortunate losses to Rapid. Terahertz need to get up on their game. And Sabretooth, I was heartbroken when they went up against Aftershock, because that was such a bad fight for them. And Aftershock doing this thing now where they're just making sure that they're dead. Absolutely sure, by hitting them a couple more times. Is it dead? No, man. I'm still not sure. Yeah, it's dead now. Yeah, definitely dead. They didn't do it once, they did it multiple times, so it's not heat at the moment. You knew what you were doing. I'm calling you out. Naughty. So, the robots that got left behind. Well, there was Nuts. Nuts like to make a big show of everything, so I think they'll be happy the way they went out. Flying over the wall by Matilda's blade. Really show-offy Matilda. Just sent Nuts flying. It was great. It was the first fight. It was like the first fight of the first episode of each series. Seems to be quite dramatic. Nuts went flying out of the arena, and last year Razor was taken down by Killy Cranky. Speaking of, Killy Cranky became Cranky, who was spinner-proof, were then killed by Aftershock, a spinner, so that didn't last long. Tomahawk with their axe, they won't miss, which followed by them missing and then being shredded by Sabretooth. Yeah, there was lots of eating of words. So that was episode 1. My personal favourite fight was Sabretooth versus Terahertz, because Sabretooth could be a great robot one day. They just need a little bit of faith. Because you gotta have faith, faith, faith. Because you gotta have faith, faith, faith. Can't believe 16 years after their first TV appearance, and they finally won a televised fight. So, well done, Gabe and team, for Team Sabretooth. And that sort of wraps up this review. I've tried to keep it quite relaxed. It's relatively punchy, short, once I've edited it. Thanks for watching, and next time I'll be reviewing the pullbacks. So, enjoy. Bye.